Weight loss is all in the mind. No, I take it back. It's mostly in the mind. Read the work of Jon Gabriel. People ask me to do hypnosis for them for stress relief, insomnia, smoking cessation, and sometimes weight loss. And I think people have to be clear. What is it you're asking for? Is it habit change? Because if it's habit change, then I can hypnotize you for habit change. You can hypnotize yourself too. All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. If it's habit change, then that's something different than weight loss. Trust me. I was 23 years old when I had my first weight loss surgery. And it was the lap band. It was not lap at the time. It was full incision band. I have the scar. You want to see my scar? I could be brave and show you things like my... Oh, you can't really see it, can you? Yeah, you can. Look how dark that is on camera. Oh, my goodness gracious me. The things you see in the mirror and on camera, huh? And they had to cut me twice. The first installation, that worked for a year. It worked beautifully. I threw up 3 to 4 times a day, and when you throw up your food 3 to 4 times a day, you are bound to lose weight because you're starving. And then when they had emptied all the saline out of the lap band, that's not a lap band, but a full incision band. And why was I throwing up? Because it was too tight. Hello. And they replaced it. The port flipped. It sprang a leak. I'm actually unsure. I didn't keep a blog. I didn't write things down. But they opened me up again and replaced it. Oh, that's what it was. It sprang a leak, and they couldn't adjust it. And when they were going to replace that, and then the port flipped. Whatever, 2 full incision gastric bandings. And then all the weight came back. And in 2006, I converted from the gastric band, which is a very complicated takedown to switch me, because of the multiple surgeries, to switch me from the band to the gastric bypass. This forced habit change, because you can only eat so much. But my pouch, oh, I hate that word, the pouch expanded, and so I could fit more food than one would want to fit into oneself. But then a funny thing happened. Over these years, now, what is it, 2014? This is 8 years I've had this gastric bypass. The pouch kind of atrophied. I guess that's what you would call it. I have not gotten an official word on what that is. Because what the surgeons will say is, well, your pouch is just working and you should be happy. And I can eat less. I can tolerate less food than I was tolerating within the first year, 2 and 3, of having this gastric bypass. I lost 120 pounds my first year after the gastric bypass, and then another 20-ish the next year. Of course, you know, weight loss slows down once your metabolism adjusts, and you know how that can be. Now, some people say, well, that's just you. No, there's plenty of people, and we're doing a documentary. Well, a colleague of mine is making a documentary about that very thing. So it's not just me. There's plenty of people who have had regain, complications, and disappointments from their weight loss surgery. But I digress. The point is, when you're doing something that you believe is working, you get results. Part of that's physical, but I think it's mostly mental. because I have been eating less and less and less over the past 3 years. I'm able to tolerate less and less and less food. And yeah, I make my Josh Rubin shakes, but I can't even tolerate those very well. Just look him up. He was my nutritionist and helped me a great deal. It's an issue of safety. When you feel safe and secure in your life and environment, your body will let go of its armor, and our emotional armor will sometimes come in the form of our own flesh. It's a huge part of it. Read the work of Jon Gabriel. Truly, he. You see all the. We're in the office, the chaplain's office at Montclair State. He writes about the feeling of safety and de-stressing one's self, so your body can let go of its armor in the form of fat. But what I'm discovering is that if you believe that what you're doing is going to lead to weight loss and you are following a discipline, and it doesn't matter what the discipline is. Here's the thing, it doesn't matter. You could be doing shakes, you could be a vegan, you could be doing paleo, whatever it is you're doing that you believe is going to work to get you some desired result, it's going to work. When it stops working, not only is there something metabolic going on, which I've been emphasizing, and writers like Matt Stone, please get the book Diet Recovery too, and just be done with all this nonsense. Josh Rubin of East West Healing and Performance, they will tell you the body science of it, the physicality of it. But the up here part of it, when one becomes fatigued by not nourishing oneself properly, the mental fatigue that comes with it will cause a metabolic slowdown, and it will lead to, what do you call those things? Plateaus. Pardon me. Plateaus, regain, whatever, because you're unhappy and you don't believe in what you're doing. And it's kind of a feedback system, so the metabolism slows down, you don't have the quick weight loss, you get discouraged, you resent your diet and all that. So yeah, you take care of yourself metabolically, but I've been doing that. And it wasn't until very recently that I started to drop some pounds once again. I've been eating less and less and less over these past 3-4 years. And still, it was like I was stuck. I was metabolically stuck. And now all of a sudden people are like, oh wow, looks like you're taking off weight. It must be the martial arts. No, that was over the summer. I took my yellow belt test in September 12th. And then I had to freeze because I teach at night and I can't get to classes. So no, not that. We're in the first week of November. I have not been doing my martial art workouts. I could do them at home alone, but I don't. Too busy exercising from here up. And yet, wow, you look great. You lost weight. Clothes are loose. Like, what's going on? What's going on? Something shifted in me mentally, where I feel I can let go. I can let go. I don't need as much armor on me. Something shifted in me emotionally. I prayed for it. I'm not going to lie and say I meditate every day. I don't. I wish I could be more disciplined. Something shifted, and then the weight started to come off. No change in my eating habits. No change in my exercise habits. I was working out like a monster. Talk about going hard. From July 3rd till September 12th, I was a machine. I even jogged. I knocked my left knee replacement loose, running around on the mats, like running. I'm not supposed to do that. I lost 1 pound. And I was sweating. And I was working. And 1 pound comes off? There's something odd about that. And I'm thinking, what the? This is metabolic damage. I'm coming up with all these scientific reasons. But no, it's emotional, I think. It's emotional. When we feel safe and we feel confident in what we're doing, that what we're doing is healthy for us in our lives, whether that's eating habits, sleeping habits, relational habits, belief systems, our bodies adjust. Our bodies adjust. So what is it you want and why do you want it? So people say, well, I needed to take off weight because, and they'll fill in the blank of blood pressure, this, diabetes, that, blah, blah, blah. P.S. My diabetes is more under control than it's been in years. I couldn't believe my A1C. It was almost normal. Wow, cool. All right, so, people come up with these reasons, and then they do whatever it is they do, weight loss surgery, diet, whatever it is they're doing, and they stick with it, and they have integrity about it, and weight comes off, and they're happy about it, and then the weight stays off. For the most part. This is true. When people become frustrated, unhappy, they feel deprived, their anger issues come up, because of course, excess weight will also help to keep emotions on the inside. And those emotions come rising up, and we're uncomfortable, and we're unhappy, and like, yeah, I don't like this. The weight will stay on to protect us emotionally. I could write this down in a more systematic way, and I will. My first book that's coming out soon, Still Fat After All That, my first year after gastric bypass. I will talk a lot about the mindset and what we go through with weight loss surgeries. But as my books progress, I will make this more systematic. But in the meantime, look up Jon Gabriel. He's talking about this. He's talking about the mentality. He's talking about stress levels. He's talking about relaxing into a body that we believe is healthier. And it's about belief. I cannot stress this enough. It's about belief. Letting go of anger and resentment about deprivation. And how many times do we have to? You have to deprive yourself in order to take off weight. My niece she's slimming down and getting more muscular, and she eats very balanced, very harmonious, and varied amounts of food. So, issue of safety. Do we feel safe in our lives? Who's around us? What are we doing for a living? Whose beliefs are we trying to keep off of us with the excess weight? How are we trying to protect ourselves? And deep down, do we really believe we need to change? Because if we don't believe we need to change, why would we? And if it's weight loss that we think is the thing we need, we'll just keep not losing weight over and over and over again until we throw up our hands and say, see, screw it, I can't lose weight. Well, because deep down, you don't want to. You resent having to do that. And you have a right to be any size you want. You don't owe it to anybody to be anyone's size. All right, I'm going on 14 minutes here. I feel like I'm rambling. Be authentic. Make sure what you're doing lines up with your deepest beliefs. And your body will follow. More to come.